now I see y'all in here. Do you see me on the computer? Oh, wait, let's see. Let me see. Can you see me now on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it connected now. It connected on my phone and here. Okay. Oh, wait. Let me get off of this. Okay. Go ahead. Let me get off of this. I want to use the computer.
So do we know who's going to start the negotiation? Was it like specified in any instruction, or kind of just?
Why don't we just do an introduction so we know who we're speaking to and what everyone's role is?
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll go first. So I am the president of the Union Local, which is the umbrella organization that lobbies on behalf of organized labor in Newton.
And I'm Jennifer. I am the city manager for the town of Newton.
I'm Carly. I'm the president of the Newton Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Kim Sutphin, the majority owner of the Newtown Thunder Chickens football team.
I am Jeff Garcia. I represent the United Football League.
Okay.
Okay, so we are all gathered here today because the Thunder Chickens have done very well, and we are trying to figure out an agreement that would allow construction of a new stadium.
Yeah, it looks like the lease expires in 2 years, so we'll have to work together on a way to finance the new stadium, is my understanding.
Okay. So I guess we should jump right into it. I guess let's start with the first issue, taxes.
Okay, well, being the city manager, I can say that the city, we have a lot of fans for the football team, but we also have some non-fans, and so our concern is making sure that both parties are addressed. And, of course, we can't just hike up taxes because the non-fans would just not be in accordance with such a decision. So we're open to hearing some ideas of what you guys think that we can, that would make everyone happy. Ideally, if there were no tax raises, that would be great for the city. And of course, that would be great for all parties involved, but we are open to keeping the team here, so.
Well, I think with the team doing so well, there's no better time than now to propose a tax increase, no matter where we decide to put it. But I think we have a solid fan base, and I think it's something that the city would be open to. And with our winning record that we haven't obtained in a while, we seem to be gaining new fans, and attendance levels are at record highs.
And Jen, I'm in agreement with you. Again, I'm here from the Chamber of Commerce, and preferably no tax increase, but if needed, maybe a small utility tax would be appropriate.
Well, okay, those are things to consider. Sarah or Kim, do you guys have anything to say regarding the taxes?
Before I say anything, hey Kim, I think your phone is causing like a feedback because you're on your computer and phone, so you can kind of hear like an echo.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be better. But so as the president of the union, we're not we don't like taxes because taxes are taken from our workers. So we are very in favor of no tax increase, but we would also be in favor of a utility tax increase because that's coming from different parties and not just workers.
And
I think it's important to bear in mind that with the new construction, it will provide a lot of opportunities for the union in the construction itself, and then managing and the day-to-day operations of concessions and this sort of thing for the stadium.
Yes, I want to chime in. I'm in agreement with Mr. Garcia. I believe we need to build a new stadium because that will bring in the fans put in, will actually get back with the team. And I would like to add luxury suites, and I believe the location is a good location because fans are familiar with it. But I'm also considering maybe new transportation options. But I believe the construction, I do agree with Mr. Garcia on the construction. I believe the taxes will be worth it, given that we're going to give our fans a brand new stadium. And with that comes maybe fans, not just fans, player satisfaction. Actually, we might even be able to recruit and bring in more players because we're going to update our facilities. We need to update our facilities because everyone in the league is updating. It's the trend. So I'm in favor of the new stadium construction from the fact that I believe we need to do something. Leaving the city would not be good for the team. We would be leaving our fans. We'd have to kind of start all over again. At least that's where that's my starting point in the negotiation.
Okay, but getting specifically back to the taxes, are you okay with it being a small amount?
Uh-huh.
Okay with no taxes? What's your position?
I'm willing to work. Well, that depends. Whether we want to look at this as how the stadium is going to be constructed. Are we going to make this a more luxury box friendly? Are we going to make it a more like a general, like are we going to have standing room only for the fans? There's different ways. I think that would all have to do with what we've decided with the construction. Are we, in other words, are we going to gear it to a more luxury box-based stadium, or do we want maybe
Well, this is your
a fan type of
you're a team owner, so I mean, you tell us what your position is about the luxury boxes. What's your opinion?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, though. I want to ask everybody's. I guess I'm on the opinion. I was talking with Mr. Garcia on the opinion of that.
So, as a representative of the entire league, I've seen what cities have done in their construction of new stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
And we do implement the suites and the penthouse boxes. I think that is something that should strongly be considered as a revenue generator for the stadium itself.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of just game day, I do believe that the stadium could be used as a venue for concerts and monster truck shows and these sorts of things as well, which in turn will also provide more opportunities for the unions to work.
Correct. Oh, I agree with that. So I guess. Oh,
just let me chime in right quick, Kim.
go ahead.
Being a city manager, our concern is the people.
Yes.
We're a humongous, big, popular city like Denver or San Francisco. So we want to make sure that this caters more to the regular, everyday people and the people of Newton who can afford the tickets and they can accommodate them. So we can basically pitch it to the non-fans that this is something that is family friendly, it's for everyone, and can be all inclusive. If we get in a situation where we have too many luxury boxes, then it becomes kind of a financial thing for those who can't afford it, the have and the have-nots, and that's not what we want to present to the city because we need to get them on board in order to get this done.
Right. I was thinking then maybe the average amount of boxes, and we wouldn't want to go overboard. An average stadium would accommodate. That would be about 40. Maybe we could work between few and average, like between 20 and 40, maybe 30.
If we
Um,
be open to a few, but not anything that's
Mhm.
overboard, because we have to
Right.
consider the city first. And
I can agree with that. That makes sense.
And Kim, I think it's important to
Yes.
definitely acknowledge where Jen's coming from. We're a blue collar football league, and that's what we try to promote.
Mhm.
We do understand that there's a market for the penthouse luxury,
Yeah.
suites, but we also understand that working in themes for game days such as Veterans Day, such as Pop Warner Football Day, those sorts of events. We want to make sure that those people also feel comfortable coming to the game, and not only that they could afford to get in the gate, but that they could also afford to get a couple sodas and have a couple burgers as well.
Right. So maybe we are looking about 20 boxes, luxury boxes, or maybe is that about the few, maybe somewhere like, I was thinking between 20 and 40, maybe 30 or 25.
yeah, we would be amenable to having a few luxury boxes.
Okay.
So let's. Does Sarah or Carly have
Yeah.
insight on the luxury box aspect, or on any other aspect? I think we started with utilities and we kind of merged
Sure.
off.
Sure, yeah, yes, go ahead, thank you.
So for the Chamber of Commerce is in full support of the small utility tax, and we're in favor of as many luxury boxes as possible so that we can entertain, local businesses. So, but we would be okay with the 30 or 40 that was previously mentioned.
Okay.
I am going to say that my proposal for the luxury boxes is I would like to have none, but I understand that is not going to happen in this market, and so I would be okay with the few that Jen, Kim had agreed on.
Okay.
What number was that we agreed on? Was it 30 or 40 or?
It was having a few.
Oh, a few. Okay.
So between 20 and 40, if it's 30, if that can be agreed on, that would be between the two.
Okay. And we're all in favor of the utility tax then as well?
Yes, the city would be amenable to that.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Okay.
Mhm.
And maybe location?
I would like to keep it where it is and do a new stadium reconstruction. That's because of the team. I want to keep the team local. Because I believe they deserve a new stadium. It's the trend. And I believe, again, it'll bring more fans and it'll bring more players. I'm hoping it'll actually the facilities will bring more players even. It'd be very attractive to recruit maybe better players to the team. So with a better stadium, that's my line of thinking.
Unfortunately,
So I'm in favor of that.
and I'm sure, Jeff, I'm assuming you probably share the same sentiment as Kim, wanting something located downtown.
We think downtown is ideal for a few reasons. I think we're centrally located so that all the surrounding areas could access the stadium equally. I think we already have a pretty solid fan base at and around our current location. I think we would want to consider transportation for the surrounding suburbs who can't currently access the stadium, for something to be built, whether it be a light rail or something to that effect.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've had so much pushback from the fans and also fans that live within the area of downtown. They're just concerned about a new stadium generating more people and more traffic and the inability to travel to and fro during game days. And that could be, Monday, Thursday, Sundays. And if you're talking about having luxury boxes, now you're talking about special events. And so those days would be blocked as well. So we'd like to see it moved out, if possible, even out to the marshland. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but, if not, even to the suburbs. I know a lot of other teams are doing well in the suburbs as well. And there's more land, and it's more an opportunity out there as far as growth, being able to build the type of facility that you like.
We would like to see the location remain downtown as well.
I agree. I would like to see the location remain downtown, possibility for transportation. And it's centrally located. So I am not opposed to keeping the team downtown.
Okay.
And Jen, I completely understand where you're coming from as far as traffic and congestion and this sort of thing. But I think the opportunity is definitely going to outweigh the cost. And not only that, it brings a vibrance to downtown that may not have been there previously. So for the folks who just are not tourists, but who make a home downtown and live downtown and work downtown, I think we'll start to see a lot more of those dollars put back into the city as they start to attend some of these special events and some of the football games that we will be holding at the stadium.
So
yeah, maybe putting a light rail in would help with some of that traffic as well.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you, Carly. I was wondering if we could do something with transportation that would maybe help the residents around there, and that would alleviate them having to park in their driveways and on the corners, and just or having residents downtown like pay to have people park. That can be a nuisance. I'm familiar with that. So maybe a light rail. I'm in agreement with that, to take some of that burden off the residents downtown, because game days could get hectic with a lot of traffic and people parking in people's yards and their driveways. So I am aware of that. I would agree with you, Carly, on that, if anybody would else be in agreement with that.
Well, I think we would be open to having a light rail as an addition, even though this would divert funds away from the Thundercats. We would be open to that if that would be the only additional transportation option. And then we'd be open to leaving it downtown, the stadium downtown.
Okay, that sounds fair. Sarah, are you in agreement with the light rail?
As much as I want to be in agreement with the light rail, my major concern is providing jobs for my union workers, and as in keeping the location downtown. My biggest concern or my biggest meeting agenda is that I would like to see there be a new infrastructure for a subway created. I think that would bring in a lot of high-power union jobs, and it would mean a lot easier way for individuals to come to the downtown area. But I think I'm sensing that the majority is going with the light rail. I can also agree with that, but I would like to hear thoughts on maybe the subway, why that may or may not be a good idea.
And so,
Go ahead, Jeff.
So the league, I think transportation is vital, especially to those communities who are kind of on the periphery. And we would be open to a subway as well. And I think both will require new infrastructure. And I think both will definitely generate more opportunities for employment for the union in the construction, the maintenance, so on and so forth. So that's something we would consider. I don't know if anyone has gotten any facts on the architecture or what that would take to build, which one would be easier. I can't speak to that, although I can say that we are open to both options.
Unfortunately, the city cannot stomach the subway. It's just too expensive for us. And again, it goes back into having the resources to help with this project and actually get this done. In order to get the infrastructure done for the new stadium, it's just not enough money to do both. And the time frame that it would take as well. We're talking about a huge time delay due to the infrastructure. Yes, it would bring about jobs, but it just isn't something that we could afford to do. It would have to be one or the other.
Any other opinions or?
I'm neutral. I mean, I'm here representing the community, and I think that the light rail and the subway would both work for community members for transportation.
Can I interject? Go ahead. I was wondering I know we're moving on next issue with the Super Bowls. Since if this was a state-of-the-art stadium, how would the residents feel about a Super Bowl bringing in maybe revenue for the area? Is that any of concern? Would they be happy for that? I guess what I'm thinking is, wouldn't that bring the city together if we could win Super Bowl? We have a new stadium, we have a new rail, we have maybe a Super Bowl. I'm thinking very positive for Newtown. That's my
money.
Right, but I'm wondering where everybody stands on that.
Before we move on to the Super Bowl,
Okay.
can we come to agreement on the public transportation?
Sure.
Like everyone's is accepting a light rail. Am I reading that accurately?
Yeah, I would prefer the subway, and I know there was a lot of pay for subway, but if that's something the city can't accommodate with, a light rail that will create not as many jobs and not as many long-term union jobs, but it is a transportation system, and if we can keep the location downtown, I can agree to a light rail.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
So just a side note here, I see a remaining timer. Does that mean we're going to log off in 9 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't so my work has the upgraded Zoom, but I don't, so.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I was just making sure.
On to the Super Bowl.
Yes, on to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The community is in favor of as many Super Bowls as you will allow. Obviously, it brings in a lot of money, so we're in favor of that.
So Jeff and Kim, what's your opinion on the Super Bowls?
Well, first I brought it up. I thought it would be, again, a revenue maker. I think it would bring the city together. I think it'll bring the team together. I think it would even help recruit players or draft players to the area, which may make our fans in the area happy. I'm for as many Super Bowls as possible as well. Because obviously I want my team to win. I would want to win a Super Bowl and actually participate in our own stadium, but I understand our stadium will also act as a location for the Super Bowl for any team in our league.
Okay.
I'm also in favor. Well, I'm in favor of as many Super Bowls as possible. I'm also in favor of 2 or 1. I think the Super Bowl will be great because not only it'll kind of create a buzz around the town, but it's more money that the city gets to. I wouldn't say profit. That's not what I'm trying to say, but the amount of activities that are put into a Super Bowl, there's so much community involvement and revenue going to different businesses. I think it would benefit the city.
I agree. And Jeff?
So just if I could touch on that for a second. So the last Super Bowl generated $150 million, and that was just locally. That was everything within a 10-mile radius of the actual Super Bowl itself. So those are pretty large numbers. I think we would be willing to guarantee a Super Bowl if we could also do a slight increase on sales tax in addition to the tax on utility.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with
in
the tax.
favor of increasing taxes beyond the utility. I don't think the people of Newtown I don't think that will be well received.
I also am not in favor of increasing the tax fee on utility.
Yeah, and of course I'm for the people, so I can't, in good conscience, have a sales and utility tax.
Yeah.
Have one or the other. We're going to get a little bit of backlash from the non-fans as far as the conservatives as well, who are not on board for spending more in taxes. So
Right.
If there's a way for you to guarantee, 1 or 2, that's going to be great revenue for the city. But I definitely wouldn't be able to offer more sales tax or any sales tax, only the utility tax.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can live with one of the tax. I had mentioned sales tax, but the utility, that may be more feasible.
Or it could be one or the other, but it definitely could not be both.
Right. I
I
mean,
mean-
right. I agree with you.
Sarah, do you have an opinion of whether it's sales tax or utility tax that would receive an increase? You or Carly?
Just utility tax for me. That's the only one I can support.
Sarah, what about you?
I would only really support utility tax.
So basically, Jeff, if we only supported the utility tax and not the sales tax, you're saying the maximum that we could be guaranteed is one Super Bowl?
I think as it sits now, I don't know if I'd be able to guarantee any Super Bowl based off the discussion. So the next 5 years, those cities have already been granted Super Bowl rights. So even if we did do a Super Bowl, it wouldn't be, until 6 years out. I don't know if that's something the city would be interested in.
Well, the problem with that is that we'd be charging our, residents 6 years of taxes, and there's not an immediate reward. So 6 years is a short time for business, but every day and every month that you receive bills annually, you receive taxes and you're paying tax for more items, you're asking for my job.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. And keep in mind, this is going to be a state-of-the-art facility. All the community members are going to have access to it. We're going to make it accessible to as much as possible to as many people as possible. Outside of football, if you're not a football fan, we're going to have concerts. We're going to have monster truck shows.
And that's why the city agreed to leave it downtown versus moving it outward, and is on board for having transportation, to keep it less congested, because it is going to be downtown. So
can we compromise with maybe one Super Bowl? Is that possible?
So could we start at the top, and then as we work our way down, I think we'd have a better opinion as far as what we could guarantee as far as Super Bowls are concerned. So if I'm reading this correctly, we agreed on 30 luxury boxes.
Yes.
Yes.
We agreed on the utility tax.
Yes.
Yes.
We agreed on keeping the stadium downtown.
Yes.
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 We agreed on the light rail.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we would be able to grant one Super Bowl guaranteed.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Everybody else okay with that?
I am good with one Super Bowl guarantee.
I think if we can get the paperwork and get it signed today, if everyone's on board, then we can get the new stadium going.
Sounds good to me. I'll send in some work.
Yeah, it sounds. I'm in agreement. Yes, one Super Bowl. At least if we have one, we can work from there. That's correct. We at least have one guaranteed.
Alrighty. So it says less than a minute. So really quickly, great working with you guys. But what was everybody's position? Mine was the transportation. I really wanted the subway. But
Mine was my taxes were a big thing, but I didn't get anything for location or Super Bowls. Well, for having the location downtown, I get nothing. Yeah.
Super Bowls?
Yeah, I think mine. It seemed like everything. They wanted me to get points from each one for mine. Because I was the team. At least that's what they said. I have the list, so I think I did okay.
what about you, Carly?
So I was just representing the community. I had a recommendation and a no way for each of them. None of them were any more significant than the other.
All right, cool.
That's a little bit how mine was.
Yeah.
So once it stops recording, I'll upload it to our to the group thing, and yeah, it was good working with you guys.
And Sarah, I recorded it as well. If by chance you have any issues, just let me know.
Okay, I will. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you.